Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tailor Made, the show where you pose the questions and all your answers come to you tailor made by Hamline University head football coach Chip Taylor. This week on Tailor Made, the coach talks to us about the heartbreaking loss against Carleton. He shares with us the excitement about facing St. Olaf, a team that Hamline has defeated in the closing minutes in each of the last 3 years. And is the coach in good enough shape to lace up the cleats and play football again? Let's find out on Tailor Made. So let's welcome back Coach Taylor this week. Coach, let's first of all begin with your team updates for us.
Team is doing good. We had a really good learning experience last week for everybody, myself included. So, can't dwell on, the hardships too long. And just ready to move on to the next week, and we've moved on, and we're ready to roll a new season.
Well, let's talk about this last week's game. A tough loss against Carleton. What were some positives you were taking away from that?
Wow. First of all, I tip my hat off to Coach Pagel, man. He did a good job having his team ready to go. And the thing we talked about with our team is, what Carleton did was they just played harder, longer than us. The positives from the game was, we played hard, which is one thing that I'm excited about. As I'm starting to learn this team in week 5, we know what we're gonna get each week, and that was just cleaning up some of the little things that ended up killing us. But the positive that we took away is that we played hard all the way to the end, but Carleton just played a little bit harder.
Harrison Jones becoming a real big play receiver for you over the last couple of weeks. He seems to be becoming a key piece of your offense for you.
Yeah, the offensive coaches are doing a great job of trying to feature the guys that work the hardest during the week, take care of the ball the best during the week. That's something that's one piece that I care about the most, is who's taking care of the football. Let's get the ball in their hands and who can make plays. So he's taking full advantage of his opportunities, and I'm excited to continue to keep watching him grow.
Considering defense is your main forte out there, what were some things you took away from this week that you say, we really want to step this up on defense?
Yeah, we got some costly penalties as far as with defensive backs just probably grabbing a little bit too much. So we really focused on that this week. Missed tackles, you're going to have them, but you probably had a little bit too many. And those are the two things that really stuck out that we really needed to highlight is the PI penalties and the missed tackles.
This week you take on St. Olaf, a team that is also kind of on the rise here in the MIAC. What are some things you're looking at them that you're saying, wow, they're really making some big strides here?
Yeah, Coach Stern does man, I tell you, he does a good job. He's been doing a good job with the program down there. Watching them on tape, man, their kids always come ready to play. You can tell that they're, what they're trying to get executed from a coaching staff. You can see the players trying to get it done on the football field. They have 4 receivers down there that are both in double digits. They're doing a good job. The quarterback distributes the ball well, and their running backs, both of them by committee, number 5 and number 6, they do a really good job of running the ball. So this is going to be a tough game. It's going to be an exciting one for us, but St. Olaf is going to be a tough game for the Pipers. So we're looking forward to seeing how things go.
This is your team's homecoming game this week, so how do you expect that will affect your team?
Yeah, I think anytime, from whatever level you're at high school or, college, when it's homecoming, people are coming back. They want to see what's been going on with the program. Some people come back every year. Some people come back once every 30 years. So it'll be a little bit extra added juice for our guys, which we'll need, because, again, St. Olaf is coming up here, and, they're expecting to win. We got to make sure that, we just play well and we play hard, and hopefully when we look at the scoreboard at the end of the night, it's in Hamline's favor.
You've had 3 dramatic victories over St. Olaf the last 3 years, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, it's funny, I was talking to one of the coaches, and I don't know how coaches can coach for 30 years and have those kind of, you can't go through too many of those kind of games. And I feel like I'm already going through a few of them this year as a first-year head coach. But you're right, the last 3 years has come down to the wire. And again, those guys down at St. Olaf do a good job in getting those guys prepared. So it'll be interesting to see how things go here.
Well, let's head to our fan questions this week. We'll first of all begin with Bill from St. Paul. He says, do you have a plan of when you see this team reaching the status of a St. John's or a St. Thomas?
Bill from St. Paul, that's a great question. Again, when you start talking about those 2 caliber of teams, I mean, that's the cream of the crop. Those guys have been doing a great job for a long time. The thing with us, I know you guys have probably heard me say it on the show before, is, we have to take this thing 1 week at a time, one off season at a time, one summer at a time. And, if we can continue to be consistent and keep stressing the same message to our guys. At some point, we will get there, but as far as a set a timetable, I can't do that. I can't look into the future. It's just so many unknowns out there. So, we'll continue to keep working and chasing. We see those two teams out there, and obviously that's what you want to, that's what you want to set yourself and beyond those two schools too as well. So.
When I read this question from Bill, I was curious from you, do you think that that's kind of a trap that some coaches set, that if they don't meet the expectations, they don't think they're succeeding, and if they're ahead of that expectation, then they're kind of, their game plan is disrupted? Yeah,
it is a trap to look at other programs. The problem is, every place is built a little differently. Hamline is not St. John's. Hamline is not St. Thomas. St. Thomas is not St. John's. Everybody gets different kind of kids. Kids go there for different reasons. So, to say, when will Hamline be a St. John's or St. Thomas, in somebody else's eyes, it might never be that way. But for us, our expectations on the inside, we can be more than a St. John's or St. Thomas. So it just all really depends on whose vantage point it is. And those are great schools, but Hamlin's a great school too. And, they have the tradition on the field with the amounts of championships. And, we're just working day by day, 1 week at a time. And like I said, one off season at a time, one recruiting class at a time. And, we keep pounding the same message. And with the great administration we have here, I have no doubt that our expectations will be where we want it to be when the time is right.
Lisa from Hudson says, it must be very exciting to coach such smart young men.
It is. You know what, Miss Lisa from Hudson, I've been fortunate to, every job that I've had has been at academic schools, from Valparaiso, Rose-Hulman, Bucknell, and now Hamline. So I'm kind of getting, I wouldn't say put into a box, but I've been fortunate to be at schools where academics is very critical. So it is exciting. You can put a lot of X's and O's on these guys, and they can handle it because they can handle the academics here as well. So it is fun. It's almost like you're kind of loading up the matrix, so those guys can just keep on putting more information into them. So it is fun to coach those guys.
Our next question comes from Greg. He says, while you've had some success in the red zone, I'm sure you would like to improve the percentage of success some. Does this mean a running game is more necessary to make that happen?
Greg, that's a great question. The red zone football is definitely, actually, from an offensive standpoint, we call it the green zone here. We're trying to go get points. Defensively, we call it the red zone. We definitely would like to run the ball a little bit better, but sometimes it's just a combination of what people are giving you in the red zone. So sometimes it forces us to throw it a little bit more. Again, we're still in the point in our program where we're building. Offensive line is where we need to really do a good job with recruiting, and in order to run the ball effectively, you have to really do a great job up front, and we're continuing to just keep building and cultivating our offensive line, and we'll get there. But again, it would be good to run the ball a little bit more in the red zone. So
Ryan from St. Paul would like to know, what was your favorite part about playing football when you were a player?
Wow, Ryan from St. Paul, that's a great question. It's I can spend a lot of time on this one. It's a combination of everything from being in the huddle with a bunch of different guys. Just the smell of the first day of practice from the grass. Getting your equipment for the first time. The conditioning part of it. Going through a hard practice, and then now you got to go try and win conditioning and be the best in that. It's a lot of different things that was the favorite part of football. Being able to touch the ball. Sometimes you play a position where you don't touch the ball. I remember being a quarterback in high school and being a leader of that team, and that was a pretty cool feeling. Being a captain, that was a pretty good feeling. So there's a lot of different things. That was fun. It's tough to put a favorite on it though. There's a lot of different things. Even just the interaction with different coaches. I can still remember some of my coaches from high school that I wouldn't be in my position right now if it wasn't for them. So I had a lot of good things about the game of football. As a player, I'd probably say just that huddle was something special.
Amos from Des Moines would like to know from you, can you actually teach things that help create turnovers, or is this just a product of playing sound football?
It's a little bit of both. You got to play sound football, and meaning sound football, meaning run into the football, good things will happen. But we work our turnover circuit every Tuesday and Wednesday, and we talk about takeaways and not even so much turnovers. We really talk about taking the ball away. So we try to, even with our wordplay, even say takeaways versus turnovers. We want to take the football away. I believe right now we're third in the league with turnover margin behind St. Thomas and St. John. So we want to continue to keep working at that, and it is something you have to work at, and it's a product of sound football too. Because if you're not running to the football when that ball comes out, you're not going to get it. So it's a combination of two things.
Lee from Chaska wonders if you're a fan of fantasy football.
Lee from Chaska, that's a great question too. Wow, fantasy football is interesting. I think it's definitely changing the way people watch football and why people watch football. I've never really gotten into fantasy football. Actually, I just feel like I don't have enough time to study all the guys. But the one thing I will say, Lee, I am into a fantasy NASCAR league. I am a NASCAR fan. So if you want to ask me any questions about NASCAR, I do enjoy when I have the time to watch the races. So.
Awesome. Mike from St. Paul asks, Coach, do you have a World Series pick for us?
World Series, Mike, good question. World Series is definitely heating up. October baseball is always fun. I think Toronto is going to be pretty solid. From just looking at the way that they're built, but they're number 2. Actually, I could say 1 through 7, man. They can hit the football. They can hit the baseball in that lineup. So the 1 through 7 guys really got big sticks, and I think it'll be interesting to see if any pitching can slow them down. So I'd have to say Toronto. Our last statement comes from Randy from Minneapolis. He says, Coach, you look like you're in such good shape that you could lace up the cleats yourself. Randy from Minneapolis. I'd like to first thank you on the compliment. I appreciate it. Could I lace up the cleats again? Absolutely not. I think I have one good series in me. Although I do train in the summertime, I try to run like we did in college, just to get myself prepared, just to kind of put myself in the mind frame of where these players are, because they have to train a certain way to come back in shape. So I actually do the same workout those guys do from a running standpoint, just to try to get myself in shape for training camp. And I always feel pretty good. These last 2 off seasons I've done it. I did it this year too. But to get out there and to play a full game, absolutely not, Ring. That would not work. So
thanks for joining us this week, Coach.
All right, thank you. See you next time.
We want to thank Coach Taylor for joining us on Taylor Made this week. If you have your own questions you'd like to ask the Hamline University coach, please send them to us at chiptaylor@minorleaguesportsreport.com. That's chiptaylor@minorleaguesportsreport.com. Please have your questions to us by Wednesday evening so we can give the coach a little time to review them before the show. I'm Rob Pannier, the managing editor of the Minor League Sports Report, reminding you that when you want the best possible answers out there, there's no better than getting them done.